Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you all had a great weekend and an amazing Monday. On Monday I was a little bit sick, and during the weekend I was moving here within Mexico. So on Monday I didn't upload a video. After a very long sleep I feel much better again, thank God. So most likely it was not the coronavirus. Of course we are going to look at the chart, and it might come to a critical point because there might be a big chance that we're going to see a huge move within 24 hours. So please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment and share this video with your friends who think that's useful. And of course, do me a favor and watch the video all the way to the end. Alright guys, with that being said, of course we're going to start off with the BTC-USD pair. We're going to wind down, so that means from the weekly all the way to smaller time frames to daily, 4-hour and hourly candles. Alright, cool. First thing that I want to show you guys is that the ribbons are closing in, and it means that we're almost flipping bearish. That would be quite bad if that happens. Of course we still need 1 or 2 more weeks most likely before we're really bearish, but I actually really hope that we can do some pumping and undo this bearish scenario. Good news, the RSI is coiling up. Ignore the yellow line because that is an average on the RSI. That is not important. And we're seeing slowly also here on the MACD that we are moving a little bit closer to a bullish crossing. You see here also the light red might turn into green a little bit further. Not always, but usually on the higher time frames this is quite accurate. I mean, here you have a lighter one and then a darker one, and then again lighter ones, but usually on the high time frames this is quite accurate. Okay, so let's move down to the daily. I'm gonna take away the ribbons because of course on every time frame we are trading below the ribbons. We said for a long time this might be a W pattern. That is not the case. It's most likely this triangle pattern where we are drawing lines on daily and 4-hourly candles just to make sure that we're not getting wigged out. That we're not saying right away, hey, we are above, we need to go bullish, and then the next candle is down. So that's why we just be sure have 2 lines on both sides before we're getting really bearish or really bullish. And so far that's helped us out tremendously, also as you can see here in the falling wedge where we were in at the time. Okay, so we might have a big move within 24 hours. I'll tell you later why that is the case. There are 2 scenarios with this. I mean, it doesn't have to be, of course, that we're really pumping or dumping within the 24 hours, but like I said, it is likely because there are 2 scenarios. People are saying, well, we are going to dump down because that's usually what we do. We have a big shakeout period and then we're going higher. And we had 3 right here that are meeting a certain level, and then we had 1, 2, and we're missing number 3 here, and then we say, okay, we were doing 1 more shakeout and then we're going higher to shake out the last long, so to make everything super bearish, and then surprise, full jump, suddenly going higher. So that could be the case. On the other hand, we also had scenarios in the past where we said like this one for instance, we said, oh, this is a head and shoulder pattern, and from here on we are going to break down, and then we just went higher, and then we said, oh perfect, well if that was the case there, then we can say we also have a head and shoulders pattern here, and then we are going higher to repeat this pattern right here. Now of course that didn't happen, then we broke down. So don't let an event in the past be the guide of the future, just let it be a little bit of inspiration. But as you can see, it can always change, so that third big shakeout doesn't have to happen. It is to be said that stuff is getting pretty tight, as you can see, since we are really going to the end of the triangle here. If you're taking the yellow lines, then we still have some room to go. Usually these patterns break out within 70 to 75% when they're fulfilled, and then they choose in direction. I would stay very cautious until then. Okay, so what is then the news that could move the price? Well, tomorrow there is a Fed meeting at the Central Bank of the United States, and they will most likely going to rise the interest rates for the first time in a very long time. It is almost 100% sure that they will rise the interest rates by 0.25% because they need to fight the inflation. They of course created the inflation by printing so much money, but to get the genie a little bit back into the bottle, they're going to rise the interest rates most likely with 0.25%. That is, like I said, already given. But what comes after that message is going to be important. What are they going to do with printing money or the bond buying or stop the bond buying? And of course, Ukraine will be the narrative. Trust me, the war in Ukraine is going to be mentioned in that speech. So if the market sees it as something negative, then I think we're going to see a hard crash down. And then we are most likely going to break this level, and then I expect a big crash. Of course, what we want to see then is buying power that buys up the price quite fast and we're going higher. Then we would have our wick. If the Fed is going to surprise the markets, then I expect a hard pump up out of this range, maybe even crossing this range, and that could be the starting signal of us finally making the trend reverse and going higher. I am, to be honest, staying neutral, 50-50. I am not having any positions open. I also don't try to gamble because this retracement on itself was already longer than expected, deeper than expected. So you know what, it can go either way. I will probably most likely see most of the move going by. It's completely fine. The markets will always be here. I will wait for another trend, or sorry, another opportunity, but I most likely will not trade it. If you're asking me in the macro perspective, I am getting more and more bullish because you know what it is? We are making slowly higher lows. We are not breaking the trend. So we are forming this base right here. And that looks pretty good. So if we can hold this, then we have this super long, comfortable base on a big daily chart, and then I really see us trending higher in the next couple of weeks. So let's see how that will play out. Let's quickly head over to the 4-hourly. Well, it's no surprise that we are trading mostly sideways here. I saw though on daily charts that we still had sometimes moves of 3, 4, 5%, so you can make trades, but especially in the last few days you really see that the trading range is just super tight. I mean, we just then broke out of this mini trading range, but look at this. We're talking about approximately 3% in the last 4 days, and we will soon hit this trend line right here. So I will definitely not go into a long. Matter of fact, you see a lot of green candles, so to have a bit of a trend reversal or a bit of a cool down period would be completely in the cards. So just be very careful. For so far it's just only a little bit of scalping for me. On the lower time frame, this of course is bearish, going up and then right away get that rejection and then a reversal and then just going sideways again. So that is pretty bad. Okay, let's quickly head over to ETH. Weekly chart, almost the same. We don't have that crossing as soon as we see with BTC, but on the other hand, ETH is a little bit more volatile, so it can just pump up faster and dump down faster than BTC. So don't let this bigger gap fool you or surprise you. So far for me, ETH has been a no trading zone. I haven't touched it in a long time. Of course, also here we're trading underneath the ribbons. We don't want to see that bearish flip on a daily. That will be pretty negative. Let's quickly zoom in on the daily chart, and also we'll get the ribbons out of the way here. I see that I still have quite some volume nodes on here. I'm gonna take that off because we looked at it last time already. There are a lot of levels that will be support and resistance, as you can see in the volume nodes. But on the macro, we're seeing also here actually beautifully support here, support on the white line that we draw again here. This is based on the daily and on the 4-hourly, and we're seeing also here beautiful support. Would I therefore put in a long because we're having this support? No, not really, because also the price action just has been very weak. You could say, well, we're forming most likely W here. Yeah, could be, and then we're breaking out. Okay, cool. Then after we had the breakout on the daily, not on an hourly or 2-hourly, but on the daily, then you could entertain more longs, and most likely then BTC would also have broken these two resistance lines. Then you could entertain long positions, but so far I'm saying very cautious. So for me, like I said, this is a bit of a no trading zone because we have so many support and resistance coming in. We have this line, then we have this line, and this line. So this is so tight that I'm like, you know what, just leave it. Wait until the sky is a little bit cleared and we have a better direction before you're entertaining long. Yes, you will miss the bottom. Yes, you will miss the top, but it's completely fine. It's all about risk management. Okay, let's zoom in on the 4-hourly. Kind of see the same. Look how weird this looks here on the MACD. You just see such a tight trading range. That's just also typical for the last few days as we have seen it. Just very tight action right here. So it's hard to trade. And we see that ETH is just following BTC on the moves up and down, but then just a little bit more volatile. Do I have anything else for you on the hourly? No, like I said, we are now coming to this range, so I would definitely not put in a long. If we get a rejection, you could put in the short, and then of course this is your take profit level. That's approximately around the 2525. All right, so everyone is looking and waiting for the Fed. Within 24 hours, we know if it is a good news show, then we are seeing the traditional markets, so the S&Ps and the other indexes, skyrocketing, and I think crypto would also boom at that moment, expecting at least a bounce 5% to 10%. For the also, of course, much more. If it's a shit show and they have bad news, then I will expect the exact same, but then the other way around, because this is a Fed meeting that a lot of people have been waiting for. Interest rates and what else? So that is probably the main story. Okay guys, thank you so much for your time, for watching. Please do me a favor again, hit that like button, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Oh, by the way, if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you can. The links in the description. I am uploading sometimes trade setups on Twitter and other good stuff that I find there. So definitely check that out. Links in the description. Thank you guys so much. See you in the next one. Bye bye.